Hello, good evening, and welcome to the show. I'm Eva Oliveira, and this is your Excellence on Sky 219. As always, Excellence brings you inspiring life stories. And talking to us today is the solicitor Marcelo Reale from Brazil, a member of the Law Society of England and Wales. How are you, Marcelo?
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks for inviting me today.
Oh, thanks very much for coming on the show. So, you're originally from Brazil,
Yeah.
so tell us, how did you end up in the UK in the first place?
Well, when I left Brazil, over 16 or 17 years ago, I moved to Germany. I went to law school there. I qualified as a lawyer in Germany and also did my master's there. But I did not want to work as a lawyer in Germany. I wanted to come to a country where the English language is spoken. Maybe because when I was younger, I lived in the US, and when I moved back to Brazil, I worked as a teacher, an English teacher, and in Germany as well. I wanted to move to a country where the English language is spoken. Then I came to the UK in 2001. I requalified as a solicitor in the UK, so I became a solicitor of a member of the Law Society of England and Wales. Maybe initially I did not want to stay here for very long, but things changed in a way.
But why is that?
Initially I wanted to do after I finished my master's, I wanted to do my PhD in maybe European law, but then I started working, doing voluntary work and working towards my requalification. And I liked so much that I changed my mind. I thought, okay, in the beginning when I came, I didn't see myself as a practicing solicitor. I saw myself as maybe someone teaching law, working for a university. And once I started working as a lawyer or doing voluntary work, I changed my mind. I fell in love with the practical side of law, and I changed my mind completely, and I decided to stay.
And why law? Does it run in the family, or?
No, although I have this, some people say, famous last name in Brazil. I never met, some of my relatives who worked as lawyers in Brazil, but not from my immediate family. But when I was a child, I always liked reading books about human rights. I liked history, geography. I never liked physics or maths, so I thought I'll never be an engineer. I don't like blood. I'll never be a doctor. Maybe a journalist, an interpreter, or a lawyer. So I decided to become a lawyer because I always saw myself defending people over their human rights, and maybe that was one of the reasons why I became a lawyer.
Well, it seems to have been the best decision, doesn't it? So you've been in the UK for 10 years. How is it going so far?
Very well, better than I expected. I opened my firm about four years ago. Prior to that, I worked as a solicitor for a firm near Baker Street, and I also worked for a law center, which is a not-for-profit organization in the UK. In the beginning, when I opened my firm, I was the only person there. I was a bit worried about whether we'd have enough clients, or would have the funds to set up my own business.
Especially 10 years ago, things have moved.
That was actually four years ago when I opened my firm. And I was a bit nervous about all that, because it's not easy to set up your own business. First, when you are a solicitor in the UK, the Law Society does not allow you to set up your own business unless you have had 3 years of post-qualification
in the country,
in the UK.
So it doesn't matter how long you've been a solicitor for, unless you have 3 years of experience in British soil.
Yes and no. If you have 3 years experience outside the UK, you may apply for an exemption, but you need to apply for permission. So if you can show to the Law Society that you have the relevant experience and you are able to set up your own law firm, they might grant permission, but you need to make an application to them and they will decide. But then in the UK, I didn't work as a lawyer in Brazil, or I didn't work as a lawyer in Germany, so my main experience was in the UK. So I had to have 3 years of post-qualification experience plus a management course, so that the Law Society would grant permission for me to set up my own business, plus all the insurance and all the compliance. You need to comply with the rules, with the code of conduct of solicitors.
Yeah.
So it involves a lot of things, and I was quite nervous about that in the beginning, and I was the only person in the firm. And I remember that in my first week, my phone didn't ring at all. But then the second week, my phone would just ring all the time. And now there are 12 people working for me, and we're moving to Covent Garden, to a much bigger place.
Wow.
Hopefully in 5 weeks, once the refurbishment has been completed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's always scary, isn't it, to open a business in a foreign country, foreign in the sense, have you lived in the US, I think you find it a bit easier to sort of like adapt to the British culture, but it's not your country after all, so I guess it's scary, but you seem to have done it really well.
Yeah.
So tell me about your clients. Are they mainly, I'm originally from Brazil, I guess you do have some Brazilian clients, but you move into Covent Garden, so it's very in the center, that's where everything happens. Are your clients mainly foreign, are they Europeans?
When I worked as an employee for another law firm, I didn't have Brazilian clients. Most of my clients were divorce clients were English, or employment clients were English, or British clients. Immigration clients were from other countries. I had a lot of asylum cases, so I had clients from Iraq, Iran. I even had wives of former African presidents claiming asylum in the UK. When I opened my firm 4 years ago, it was when I started to have Brazilian clients. Now I would say 80 or 85% of my clients are from Brazil. Many of them are dual national, Brazilian, Italian, Brazilian, German, Portuguese. So they hold either European and Brazilian citizenship. But I also have clients from other countries. I have clients from Israel. I have clients from Japan, from Korea. I have British clients as well. Obviously, my British clients are not interested in they don't have immigration problems, but they instruct me in respect of a divorce or an employment matter or civil litigation. So, but mainly most of them are Brazilians. I would say 80 to 85%.
Yeah, well, Brazil is coming out very strongly now. I think, every week we have a Brazilian guest. They always say it seems like a good time for a Brazilian professional to be in the UK because so much about Brazil at the moment. So what plans? Do you plan to stay here? Do you plan to perhaps go back to Brazil at some point in the future?
Well, my dream would be, I'm not sure I'm the kind of person who would like to settle in one place. I don't see myself, I haven't thought about that, where I'm going to
be
retire.
next, yeah.
But my dream would be to have the freedom to go wherever I want to. So maybe set up an office in Brazil and spend some time there, some time here. Why not maybe an office in another country, maybe New York, or I don't see myself living in one country all the time.
Yeah.
So my dream would be to have the freedom and the means to work sometime here, work sometime elsewhere. But I don't think I'm the kind of person who would spend his entire life in one place.
Yeah.
So I cannot see that.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit of like that myself as well, always looking for something else, something more exciting to do. So let's go back to, you said you're working for a non-profit organization. I mean, we always have younger professionals here talking about personal satisfaction. Wherever the job you do, you make money and the money pays the bills, but sometimes the money doesn't bring the personal satisfaction, that you're actually doing something for someone and that really means something. Did you have that feeling when you worked for them?
Yes, I did. Well, initially I was a little bit naive because you're supposed to help the poor and vulnerable. I realized that not all my clients were vulnerable, but I was happy to change people's lives in a way. I had clients who came to me and they had serious immigration problems, or they were trying to divorce the husband or the wife, and they didn't know how to start, and I was able to resolve or solve their problems in a way. I was very happy to see the expressions in their faces. But I also learned that not everybody was as, I mean, some of the people were not as vulnerable as they claimed to be.
Yeah, but it's a tricky one though, because human rights is a big thing in this country. You know, it has a huge value. People will respect that, and it's hard, I guess, to make that judgment to think, you know, is he really vulnerable, or maybe, yeah, maybe he wasn't, and there was someone else who will be able to actually be doing a better job for. But it's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. I also do, although in our firm, our clients are fee-paying clients. They have to pay. We do pro bono work as well. We usually take on 15 cases a year, but then I need to decide whether these clients are really in need of free legal advice.
Yeah, but how do you judge that decision? How do you base that decision on what?
Well, I assess their situation. I see whether they could get legal help, free legal help elsewhere. Also, that some clients they're working, they have a house, they have a mortgage, they have a job. So I don't see why I would do pro bono work for them.
Yeah.
But I have clients who are single mothers. They are not working. Sometimes they're disabled. You need to check whether they really need, because it's a private law firm. The aim of that firm is to charge the client, otherwise to refer them to a law firm that has a contract with the Legal Services Commission, or to refer them to a not-for-profit organization. But sometimes some of them go to those firms and they are turned down because they do not meet the requirements, or because they're unable to help them. Then I need to make a decision. Well, client cannot pay. Is that person really in need? And then I'll make a decision as to what I will assist that person on a free on a pro bono basis or not.
So I don't suppose you do have the time now, but would you do it again? Would you go back and maybe still do some voluntary work?
I don't think I have the time now, but sometimes I give free talks or free consultations, or as I said, I have these. We take about 10 to 15 clients a year on a pro bono basis, meaning they do not have to pay our fees. So in a way, although I'm not working for a charity anymore,
but you're still doing that voluntary.
We're still doing this, but I need to be careful when assessing that. I need to know whether the client is really in a position, not in a position to pay. So sometimes they might hide their income just to qualify for free legal advice. But I think we have a good way of assessing the clients.
Yeah. Wow, sounds very interesting. We are actually going to take a break now. If you have a question regarding immigration or family law, please do get in touch with us. Email us at excellence@tvmychannel.com. I'll be back in a minute.